No, you're just
That's
fucking
okay.
chill.
Wolf is trying to build a little media server for his family, and he was hitting me up all day about like, what should I get? What should I get? I was like,
I know.
okay,
I saw the thing
Friday.
go.
I'm just doxing
yeah,
myself.
supplies.
Surprise.
Sorry, I thought you guys knew.
Olympia, Michigan.
Okay, we're live on YouTube. I'm not even going to try Twitch. I will have a long-term plan for Twitch, I promise, in a few weeks.
We twitched last week and it worked out pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't do it now, but it worked all day last time we did it.
Did it?
Yeah, I did it via the whatever split thing in OBS, and it worked.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a try. I mean, I can try it if you want it. If you think it'll, let's see. Hold on.
It's up to you, man.
Me. It's only up to you.
All right.
If you're worried about timing, then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I hit a button. Upload it. Let's see. We just need to change the title on Twitch. So I can do that later.
And our hard drive just got deleted. Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh man, look at those Trojan horses coming in. Wow.
I hate you
what
guys.
All these ads for?
You love us.
Yeah.
You do love us.
I don't know. Do I?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm gonna. Okay, I see us on Twitch.
Oh, that's my phone is not muted. I'm sorry.
We're on Twitch.
Twatch. We're twatching.
We are? Okay, great.
Ooh.
All right, I think we're good. Sinistar, whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, folks, today we're either talking about my favorite Christmas movie or a new video game. Either way, welcome to the party, pal. Today on
Are you guys really not going to talk over the intro?
We were waiting for the guest to do it.
Yeah.
the 1 week. We almost had it.
We almost did it.
It was my turn.
It was.
Good job, everybody.
It was. Hey, everybody.
Buddy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Press B to Cancel, your favorite podcast that talks about new games, even though we're retro.
Totally retro.
It's old school to talk about new games, isn't it?
Yeah. Before we get to the topic, I am not alone. I am joined by three of my favorite people, and my favorite person is one of them. We'll start with her. Sinstress, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I always love hanging out with you guys doing these, so thank you.
Absolutely. And Jake, how are you today?
Doing fantastic. Got a brand new mic. Got a Batman bear behind me. What could be better on a Friday?
I was going to say your mic looks awfully ribbed for your pleasure.
Wow. Yeah, it's a very phallic mic. I know. Yeah.
My headset. Sorry.
Oh,
you're good.
And
okay.
Chard Monk, how are you today?
I'm great. I've got a brand new video card that's currently sitting in UPS's lap that I am excited to get into the house and install this weekend. And I'm going to build another computer for my wonderful wife this weekend. So my hands are tied this weekend.
Nice.
And try to fit in some streaming in there somewhere. So let's go.
All right. We may be having a little technical difficulties. Sinsters, can you hear us?
Yes, now I can. I think there was a mismatch. I think one of them was set to headset chat and one was to game. So I think
would be a good time now, Sinistar, to hit the record button, because I should probably do that, huh? Or do we just want to yank it from YouTube?
I can just yank it from YouTube. Okay. It's all good.
Yankers.
It's been a day.
Technical difficulties. Welcome to episode 192.
Hold on.
Wow.
Wait, what?
I'm fixing the Twitch episode 93. Hold on.
Are we on 93?
Yeah, we're on 93.
Oh, 193.
We are consummate professionals.
We're a shy away from 200, and we still haven't gotten this shit down. I'm so sorry, guys.
But we'll get it by episode 400.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Consummate V's. Consummate V's.
Consummate V's. You would know.
There's
This is
there's a
sucks.
throwback. Yeah, there's a throwback for everybody. Okay, so for those that may not have figured it out because it was very cryptic, my welcome message, we are talking about Palworld today.
Yeah, the new hotness.
Yeah,
and it is hot.
And my favorite holiday movie is Die Hard. So there you go.
I figured.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a new game. There is a ton of questions as to whether this game will survive as it is, or if the Pokemon Company will well, I'm not gonna say the word because I don't want to give them any ideas, when the AI parses our podcast later.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Pokemon Company will lovingly address this game as perfect. That's what they'll do. So, for those that may not be aware, you're hiding in a box if you're not aware of what Palworld is.
Yeah.
But it's essentially, in my eyes or my opinion, it's Ark or Valheim or that sort of game meets, well, gotta catch them all.
Pocket monsters.
Yeah.
Isn't it like 7 million people have played this game so far?
Yes.
And it's not even fully out. It's in early access. It's insane.
This thing surpassed, I think, what was the game that was super popular that was holding the reins?
Like CS:GO, I think was.
Well, Counter-Strike, yeah.
I think it was Counter-Strike. It surpassed those numbers on its first day and became the most downloaded game like on its first day on Steam, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think I saw within the first week it was like 8 million copies or something, and it was in the top 5 of simultaneous play on Steam.
Yep. Yeah. And it's still going very strong.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for those that are not aware of what Ark or Valheim or that sort of game is, once again, you've been in a box, but open world, base building, survival, generally there's some sort of creatures or something that you have to fight, resource gathering, those sorts of things. And then this one, basically they've replaced, so if we're comparing it to Ark, they've replaced the dinosaurs with these cute animals, and instead of taming them by beating their heads in until they pass out and then feeding them slowly, you throw a ball at them and you cross your fingers. Valheim, I don't think there's creatures you can capture in Valheim.
There is. There's boars. You can tame boars, and there's also the locks. They're giant buffalo type creatures. You can train and ride them actually. So there's definitely creatures. It's not Pokemon, but there's taming there.
I never got into that aspect of Valheim. I tried a couple of times with some boars, couldn't make it work, gave up.
The problem I had I had boars. I had boars. Hold on, Chard. I had boars until somebody on this very episode left the doors open and let the trolls waltz in and killed my boars. Just
erroneous. Erroneous on all accounts. Would you consider that type of taming to be boring?
Yes, yes, I would. Well played, sir.
Yeah, I didn't do much of the taming, and again, totally erroneous. I did not leave anything open. Jake just likes to blame me for eating his own turnips. Also, Gaming Bible, as of a day ago, Palworld surpasses 19 million players as it continues to dominate on both Steam and Xbox right now.
Wow.
So, fun facts. Check that.
Yeah. And this is still in early access. I read an article from the CEO of the company that developed it that basically said, I'm surprised it worked out as well as it did, because basically like they had no idea what they were doing going in.
Wow.
Well, that's weird because you know what? Well, that's the thing with this game is, so the company, I can't remember the name. Is it Pocket Pear is the name of the company, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
But so the game before this one that they released was called Craftopia, and it was about survival, building, crafting, just no Pokemon ripoff. And that was one of the things I was kind of concerned about with this when I heard that. Is Craftopia got released a couple years ago in early access. As far as I know, it's still in early access. And now we have Palworld in early access. And it's mostly everything original about Craftopia was ported over to Palworld. So I'm wondering what the long-term game is for them, because they've made so much money off of this. Is there incentive for them to even finish it?
This seems like, has anybody here seen the movie Free Guy?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, yeah.
This seems very Free Guy-ish to me, where they started one game and built on top of it. Spoilers. And the game that was built on top of the original game is more successful, but we come to find out that the other game is like terraforming and creating a new life or some shit. But
right.
Spoilers. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is
brilliant. So another one that actually did that was Pokemon Go, which was far more successful than its predecessor, Ingress. I played the shit out of Ingress. Pokemon Go was okay for me.
I forgot about Ingress because...
Yeah.
Natick then took it did that with Pokemon Go and Harry Potter and a bunch of they took the same concept of that and made Harry Potter Go. And I don't know what the hell you do with Harry Potter Go. We didn't even play that.
It's not the same thing. And they just did Monster Hunter Go or something along those lines. It's the same company. And it's just it's not nearly as fun as Pokemon Go. Something about the Pokemon makes that game infinitely better. Much like, I guess, Palworld. Take a boring crafting survival game and tack on bizarre, cute animals, and you got a party.
Yeah,
there's nothing quite like beating a Pikachu clone with a bat to capture it.
Yeah, no, I played a lot of Ark too back in the day, and this is very much, it gives the same vibes. It feels very much the same, and I love riding the animals as much as I loved riding the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Although I don't have a dildo army here.
There's still hope. It's only in early access. You never know.
It could happen.
They could add it. Yeah.
Well, if you weren't part of a Christian Palworld stream, then you'd probably be all right.
That's right.
That's right.
No, so
you could give your chimpanzee a freaking AK-47. This is crazy. All this is insane.
Yeah, we play with a group. We play with a group, and one of the people has I don't remember which animal it is, but it's a big kind of teddy bearish looking thing. But he brings it into battles, and we fought Anubis, a level 45 boss, and he's 50. I think Anubis is 45.
Okay.
And he's literally just like dropping this thing onto the ground and just stun locking it with these rocket launchers that his pal is using. So he walks up to you and he whips them out. He's like, ow. Oh, there goes my finger.
And that's the thing with this.
No.
So there's the Pokemon analog here, the pals. And at first glance, a lot of them do feel like they're ripped straight out of Pokemon's games. But then a few, like I think it's the monkey, like you mentioned, Char. It's green, and one of its power-ups that you can unlock is literally assault rifle. It pulls out an assault rifle. And if I'm not wrong, this is the one that if you want, you can put on your head and it will shoot enemies at you while you're roaming around.
It's the
one that it's hilarious. But the one
like
that
it's copyright.
But the one I used for the thumbnail for today's episode, it's Foxtrot, I think the name of the one is. It looks like an Eevee, but it shoots fire. But the power for that one is literally you pick it up like a flamethrower and you use it as such, and you have it for a good 30 seconds of flaming. It's bizarre. Yeah, this game is it's Pokemon, but not. It's definitely something different.
It's cool. I mean, you got the base building aspect, but you can utilize the pals to help build the bases and build your resources and build all kinds of stuff. Every time I pop in to play with my team, there's a small city that they have developed since I've been there, and there's all kinds of new pals running around doing work. And if you go to a bench to make weaponry or whatever, a pal will come over and help you and speed up the amount of time it takes to make something. Or you can have them create the recipe or start the recipe and leave, and they'll build it for you while you're out foraging and doing whatever. It's a really clever aspect where things that I get lost in playing these types of game of having to build and having to sit there and grind all the building out. I don't mind fighting the creatures. I don't mind grinding XP, and no issue with that. But sitting there and making arrows for 4 hours is I could literally do anything else with my time. Now I can send something in to do it for me and go have fun and then come back and get what I need. It's really, really cool. Or I can take a bathroom break and let them just spin up whatever they're doing. So it takes away like the monotony of having to do basic skills, but you still got to feed yourself. You got to feed your animals. I mean, it still has that aspect of survival in it as well.
Yeah, I kind of view it as Ark, but they've cleaned up the most tiresome portions of the minutia. There is still minutia, but it's not nearly as tiresome. The minutia in this is actually when the game bugs and the animals don't feed themselves, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
didn't we have the first night I played with you guys? Somebody had set one of the pals to build arrows, and they accidentally built like 3,000 arrows, and they wouldn't stop. It was like bugged or something.
And somebody told the animals, we had a podium. There's a podium that you can set how much of a slave driver you want to be to your pals. And this person said, work until you basically die, and then logged out.
That's what you want, right? That's what you want in your
listen, Captain Butcher, my pals.
Yeah. No
okay.
kidding.
Okay. So that's the thing I'm going to mention too. So I realized that there's a butcher knife you can unlock in the game, and it does the simplest thing. It changes your pet pal emote to butcher your pal, but not so much an emote. You literally whip out a pal on the floor, and you take out your butcher knife and you chop them to bits, and you get whatever they would give you on death. And it's in true Japanese fashion. It puts up a mosaic so you can't actually see it.
Yeah, it's super blurred
out. Censored. Yep.
So I'm hilarious. In the middle of the base where everybody's doing the crafting.
I thought the game was bugging out, and I'm like, "What is that?" And it's just Jake murdering all his pals.
Murdering pals, because I had like 20 sheep from the tutorial I want to get rid of, and they give you meat, and I needed the food, so I'm just sitting there butchering it for a good 10-15 minutes. And somebody's like, "There's better, more efficient ways to off your Pokemon," and I'm like, "What?" But what I love in this one though is you collect them in pal spheres, very much Pokeballs. But there's humanoid enemies in this game. There's the Syndicate, right? They're these bad guys. They're humans. I didn't realize, but you can capture them in your pal spheres. So I had one in my pockets for all through the tutorial. And when I was going to butchering, I just thought, this can't work, right? This can't be a thing.
Oh no!
But sure enough, I whipped out the Syndicate and I murdered him with the butcher knife in front of everybody, right next to the lambs and the dogs, and it was pretty awful. And I got coins from it.
Yeah, so Oscar's in chat and says, if you butcher 100 pals, it permanently blurs your character from what I'm told.
Well, I'm halfway
Challenge
to that, probably.
Accepted.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Jake's halfway there.
Yep.
Jesus.
No, but is it any more efficient than the PAL compressor where you toss in like 4 or 5?
That one levels up. That one levels up your pals. Like
by juicing the other ones. Like that's not any more humane.
It's more humane. It is humane. You're just combining them into
one.
I'm not stabbing them with a knife.
Look, one's a chamber that may knock them out first. You just went after him with a butcher knife.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like, I mean, at the least, it's a blender, whirling them together down to their essence, and that's like faster than being butchered with a knife. So
I'd rather the knife than the Vitamix. Like I don't want the Vitamix as a way to go. I don't want to be juiced.
Bullet. You know what the bullet?
Blend?
You know what the juice bullet? The juice weasel?
Blend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is my woolet so chunky?
It's time for my smoothie.
But it just goes to show you that how similar at first glance you may think this is a Pokemon game, but it really isn't. Everything from the tone of it, like the weapons, the assault weapons that you can equip, to the blending, to the chopping, and then of course the survival and the crafting and stuff. It couldn't be more different than the Pokemon game. The closest maybe, and it's a stretch, is Pokemon. Is it Azurus? The ancient
one,
Japanese one. Yeah, that one. I mean, that one's pretty decent in that it took more of an open world approach to things in Pokemon. It's kind of like that, but there's no guns. There's certainly no hand-to-hand combat like there is in Palworld. So it's a bit different.
Yeah, it's a cool aspect because it's a third-person shooter. It has the same kind of artwork as Fortnite, dare I say it, but it's still got that very cartoonish kind of look to it. And it's the over-the-shoulder third person, but it's not challenging one another with your pals. Your pals are there kicking ass with you everywhere you go. So you're doing basically, and we're benefiting because we got a server that we're running it on. So I think standard, if you played it normally, it would be like 4 people in your team that you can have.
You can play with 3 other people, so it's a 4 limit.
Right. So we're all in a private thing, so it's all of us doing the same thing together. So we benefit because we've got the entire team running around and doing stuff. But it's still cool to be raiding, big bosses and fighting them and having your pals come out and being strategic, because some of us want to capture them, right? You can capture literally anything on this map, no matter what level it is, as long as you're a high enough level to capture it. You can capture a boss. You can capture some of the big bad that's out there. We've caught almost everything that I know of. And it's kind of the strategery of like, okay, as soon as it gets down to like 200, pull your pals out and we'll start throwing the balls at it and all kinds of cool stuff. It's not just like RPG turn-based kind of attack. You're fucking going at it, and there's chaos and there's all kinds of shit. It's
and there are absolutely not 2 people in that server who are completely addicted to it and spent like days in there. Nobody.
I said a small city. There's a small city there.
Yeah.
There's 3 actually. There's 3. Yeah. So that brings up a point. So you do have some limitations if you play with other people using your client as the server, or if you run a dedicated server, you can get more players in and configure some things, I think, a little bit better. So now that brings up a point as well. This game is very early access. The server code seems to have some substantial memory leaks, and I have to restart it generally a couple times a day. This server has 32 gigs of RAM, and it is very quickly at least up into the 20 plus gigs of RAM usage just for this application. So
how many players were on it at the same time for that? Is it like 10 players?
I think we've gotten 8 or 10.
We had like 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
We were doing
a patch today that was supposed to fix some of the stuff. I don't know if it has or hasn't, but there was a big patch that was released today for it that fixes some of the server issues that I know that we're having. Like maybe your memory leak, they didn't specify. I didn't read the specifications of it, but there's some. If you catch like 100 pals, there's been some corrupt data that's been corrupt.
7,000
in your guild. Yeah.
So they fixed that, or they're trying to fix that. So they are doing patching, but again, as we said earlier in the episode, this is an early access game still, so you're going to deal with some of the bugs. It's polished, like it looks good, but then when you start getting a little nitty gritty, it gets a little bit more. You can kind of start seeing the blemishes on it a little bit.
Yeah.
We have people after server restarts. Generally, one person will fall through the world.
It happens, but no.
For me, the one was you can ride some of your pals, and the one I tried to ride it, and it was not a flying one, but it started to fly into the air. It's slowly stepping me up into the air, and then it just disappeared and dropped me. That was a fun time.
Oh. Yeah.
Look, it was tired of you butchering its friends.
That's your payback.
It was
before
revolting.
the butcher knife was unlocked. Okay, this is before the killing.
It saw it in your eyes.
It had a premonition.
Crazy eyes.
You had death in your eyes.
One look at my blue skinned character and it's like, nope, this is Avatar. You're
no Avatar. No Avatar here, asshole.
You cannot ride me. Thank you.
You take your unobtainium to your own world. Get fucked.
Wow.
But like, I mean, bugs aside, it's a nice looking game. I really dig the graphics. Like, forget the cartoon style, just the grass, the trees, the water even looks pretty good. Cool. I'm used to playing Valheim, and this is definitely a step up in graphics.
I would like to say one of my favorite things about this game is that you can climb everything. Like you jump, you climb, and as long as you have the stamina, you can get pretty much anywhere.
Nintendo's gonna have their hands full.
And it's not like Ninja Gaiden with accidental wall grab.
No, it's
there's absolutely accidental wall grab, but it's not, fatal.
Yeah,
it's very much like Breath of the Wild is the closest analog, right? And that's why Chard's saying Nintendo really could be suing, because it's just the Pokemon look, but then it's the Breath of the Wild mechanics. There's also a glider straight out of Zelda, where you can climb a tower and just glide down. It's pretty interesting.
Except there's no fall damage, so I haven't quite figured out what the glider's for.
Oh, there's fall damage.
There's fall damage.
Oh, is there?
Oh, there's
Yeah.
fall damage.
You
It's
just have to
just-
try hard.
Apparently, have not fallen high enough.
It's just higher than you would think.
It's very generous fall damage.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's quite forgiving. But yes, I have fallen to my death before.
Falling through the world is.
I was flying and I was trying to reach a very high peak, and I went to press D to go to the right. And do you know what key D is next to? Yeah.
I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah. F.
That's why I keep losing all my pal balls too, is because it's right next to W.
Well, okay, on the other direction. So I went from playing Palworld, where everything is interaction is F, to playing Witcher, where F is one of your consumable slots. And I just ate all of my potions. Just, hey, look, I need to go talk to the butcher. Thunderbolt. Hey, I need to go talk to I need to go look at my stash. Thunderbolt.
That's honestly, that's why I played with
but
controller.
I feel bad, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, I'm laughing, but I feel bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Jake, what were you going to say?
So I had the same issue. I tried rebinding throw pal sphere to control or something, just because I wanted to be able to sprint easier, and I didn't want to waste my pal balls. But ultimately, because my hand pain, I just switched to a controller. This game, considering, controls pretty decently with an Xbox X controller.
Nice.
Probably plays better on a PlayStation 5 one. It's a shame because I wanted to try this on the Steam Deck.
You say that, you hateful, spiteful Dr. Pepper drinker, but it's not. PS5 is not a great controller, but that's a different topic.
Doctor ordered.
No, it's just no.
Look, we saw the picture today that you sent of the mistaken Canadian Dr. Pepper called Dr. Pooper. I understand why you think it tastes bad.
There's definitely reasoning behind it now. We're getting it.
Dr. Pooper is a core memory unlocked for me, okay? And for any other person, the kid in Canada who grew up with Garbage Pail Kids, that's where that comes from, that sticker. So anyway.
Sticker.
Yeah.
No, this is neat, and there's another bonus that if you have friends that are at higher levels, they can make you harnesses and things and saddles and shit so you can ride some of your higher tiered creatures. So it's not like just because you're level 5 and you're hanging out with a level 40, they can still get you the equipment you need. You don't have to be at that level. It just have to be at that level to create it yourself. So
right. And another thing with that is those items, you can unlock the tier of the tech tree that they're in. And if you haven't acquired the proper PAL, it's hidden behind a box. You don't know what the piece of equipment is until you have acquired the PAL, which I think is kind of cool. Yeah.
No, I like that. It keeps the
and
mystery.
There's a lot of stuff in that tech tree. It's an extensive. There's a lot in the tech tree, and as much as I wish you unlocked a saddle maybe just once to ride any PAL, I kind of see why they did make specific PAL tech tree items. Right? There's different ones, right? So if you want to use the Foxtrot as a flamethrower, that's a tech unlock you have to do, and it's just for that PAL.
I interpreted that as I made the life monk assault rifle, and I was just rocking with the whole full party of life monks, and I was just switching them out. I'm like, okay, now you get the gun, now you get the gun, now you get the gun.
Nice.
Just handing it down to each one.
The different saddles unlocking at different tiers is very much a direct ripoff from Ark. That is very Ark. Ark, you basically get a saddle for the frog one, and then you get a saddle for the brontosaurus, and you get a saddle for, So that's very much Ark. In fact, the tech tree feels. I looked at it the first time. I'm like, oh, somebody played Ark. So
it makes sense.
Yeah, when I came into this game, I was expecting more Valheim, and it really isn't. I think after watching some video of Ark, I definitely see the building blocks there. There's another survival game that did a stress test today called Nightingale, and it feels very much like Ark and Palworld to a degree. Not nearly as good, mind you, but it definitely feels like that template. Which, don't laugh at me.
I'm sorry.
Chard's laughing at me
it's
because
an inside joke. I'm laughing. Yeah, Jake.
And I'll explain
Jake
it.
had literally 2 series of emotions within an hour. Man, they were back to back on MP. It was thrilled, and then it was not so thrilled, and it was just the way it was presented just makes me laugh. And
so here's the thing, right? So I've been playing Valheim for at least a year and a half, 2 years now, and I love Valheim, but It's not done. It's still in early access. I feel like it's going to be in early access for another 3 years. So I'm looking for another kind of those games. So I have played Palworld with you guys, and it was a blast, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. It doesn't have quite the same base building. So there's this game called Nightingale that's done by former BioWare devs, and it looked fantastic with different procedurally generated maps, different biomes, different all kinds of cool stuff. Steampunk, I always dig steampunk. A lot of great stuff. So I've been really hyped for that game. So when I saw it was a stress test today, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go try it. I got an hour. I'll go play it. Went from being so freaking excited, like I'm literally messaging the guys. It's in a stress test. This game's gonna be awesome. We should all get it.
Can't download fast enough.
Yeah. And then within 30 minutes, I'm like, this game sucks. The combat feels jank. I'm being attacked by all the wildlife right off the bat. There's hail for some reason.
Shit.
And I uninstalled it within 20 minutes. And I know it's a stress test. I know it's early. I'm sure it'll be fine. But I went from being so hyped for this game to just declaring it hot garbage and being done with it, at least until it's out of early access.
Jake, if you're looking for another game like that and you haven't played Ark, play Ark.
It's just that how old is Ark now, though? That's like 7 years old, isn't it?
Does it matter?
From what I understand, they're still like updating it and adding stuff to it. Yeah, they're actively working on it. So even if they aren't, that game is so fun. I think it is what you are looking for, and it's a complete game. It's very fleshed out. You will die a lot. You will die a lot
That's
in
fine.
the beginning.
For me, the base building is what I like the most. Like Valheim's base building is second to none, right? So I wasn't sure.
The only thing that you'll miss out on with Ark that you've expressed a desire for is the dynamically generated worlds.
Yeah, it is a static world, but so is Palworld.
Yeah,
Palworld, yes, but at least Sinister, you said Ark though has DLC maps, those other maps you can load up,
multiple maps,
and that's probably a good compromise for me. Like I really only like the procedural maps in Valheim because it means when I play with new friends or a new server, it's different. Right? It's not. I don't. Yeah. There's elements of the handcrafted map that is pretty cool. I do like how Palworld has that handcrafted feel to it, and it's nice. Yeah. And they compromise with dungeons being in random locations at times. That's pretty cool. So they blend it together.
Too. There's like different locations that's like desert and forest.
And you can pick where you start, right? So I mean, the next time I play Palworld with another group, I can always pick the northern area or something.
And that's very Ark as well. Ark, you pick your starting area. There's a number of the different areas to choose from. And then the maps actually have kind of like a Venn diagram overlay of dinosaurs, but one map will have certain dinosaurs that are only for that map, and then the other one has like even a little bit cybernetic style. So if you're like, okay, I want a little bit more steampunky, I can do So it's a cool game. And the dungeons are great in it. Super hard. The dungeons are super hard in Ark, but yeah.
Can I recommend that Jake does not start Ark until he finishes his frickin' Sisyphean game, so he doesn't have to spin the wheel of pain
starts his frickin' Sisyphean game?
Look, I will install Street Fighter 6 before December. I promise you that. I'll get that diamond rank pretty quickly, I'm sure. I anticipate no problems. It's not Battletoads.
He's taking your page.
GP has some good stories about Ark. He wanted to play it, so we brought him into our server. And the first thing Sinistar did was take him into one of the dungeons and get him killed. And then we had to go back like 6 times to try to get our shit back. And the other thing that we did was I was like, here, let's go flying. So I had him, jump on one of I think it was a pterandon, and we went up here flying, and he hit, we landed on this really high bridge so that you could get this view of everything that was around because it was beautiful.
He fell off.
And he jumped off. He straight jumped off the bird and down the cliff. It was really funny.
Never disappointing. That's so.
I was like, I wish I were streaming this so I could record that because it was so cool just watching him woo. Yeah. It was great.
I've never played the only survival type game that I have played has been Valheim and this. Never played Ark. I've never touched Conan Exile.
The Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Do you count that as the same kind of thing though? I mean, really?
To a degree. To a degree.
All right.
It's that open world light base building.
I mean it's a survival.
I always think of it as more of a survival horror instead of a like a Power kind of thing. So But yeah, I mean, you're still building bases and you're still doing your shit out there, so that makes sense.
Oscar saying you can't play Ark anymore. You have to play Ark 2. Is that true?
Is that out yet?
Okay.
I heard about Ark 2.
Yeah.
Oscar would know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was coerced into trying this little gym out, and I'm glad I did, because Jake's initial pick on this game was Jake's typical opinion about games. It was like, "Oh, it looks janky. I don't know why everybody likes this game. It looks kind of broken.
It's not Circus Charlie.
Janky.
It's not Circus Charlie."
To be fair, it's not.
It's not procedural. It's not procedural. I don't know. It's not procedural maps. It's hand-painted maps. And of course, the Sins were playing it. I don't think Sinistar was, but Sinistress was, with our very close friend Bridget and Tagalong Straby. And I was coerced into picking this game up, so I did, and I got it on sale because it was the first day I think it was released. And I'll tell you what, we played it for a long goddamn time. And Sinistress isn't wrong. It can say, I'm not into huge like base build. I'm not into the base build. I want to see the creatures. I want to go catch all the shit. I want to get the upgrades and all that. I could give a crap if I've got 4 walls or not. It does not pique my interest as it does like Jake's and everybody else's. I'm just out there to fucking fly around and shoot shit. And they gave me a bat, and there was bat justice. And just pummeling one of the sheeples at the very beginning of the game pretty much sold me on the rest of this goddamn game.
Well, the minute he realized there's bat justice.
Yeah, I mean, of course there's ragdoll physics, because there is in everything, but the imagination of watching a ball sheep fly across the screen after you kick the shit out of it with a bat, with of course, with the swirly exit out eyes. I was like, God damn it, this is great. So sold, automatically sold.
And Chongus. I mean, once you see Chongus.
And Stripey posting pictures of Chongus everywhere we go, where Chongus
there's this corgi version of like a lamb that's massive, but it has like corgi legs. It's like these little itty bitty short legs, and it's just this big Chongus. And it's actually a boss. It's hard.
Yeah. It's fun, and
some of the bosses
learning
are tricky,
the different,
actually. Yeah,
and it's learning the. I'm gonna say it again. It's like the Pokemon thing, right? Where you gotta use this type versus this type. It helps you fight the bosses a little bit easier. So there is some strategy to it. Instead of just having this cool looking pal support you, there's like, no, I need something that will work against water or fire or grass or whatever the hell it is.
Right.
And it's really neat. It's not just balls to the wall. There's definitely some thought needs to be put into it. I think it's pretty clever.
Yeah. So like building your party of pals is actually pretty interesting, more so than I think in Pokemon in a lot of the ways. Like there's definitely elemental types, but I think it's the what's the owl's name? Hootingtons or something. But
Hoodamedes or something.
Hoodamedes.
I think it's Hoodamedes.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you have him, and he makes it so that any other dark Pokemon, dark pal,
Hoocrates.
That's it.
Thank you, Bridget. Yeah. So you have him in your party, and he gives 15% damage or something to every other dark Pokemon in your group. But then there's another one where if you get the upgrade for it, it's like a cloud puffball thing, but it's also a dark one. But just having that equipped means they stay out all the time. Even if you switch to a different pal, you now have 2 pals. And I've seen people build like 3 or 4 of those in their team and have them all flying around them at the same time. And it ends up being quite broken. But that's the fun of this game, is finding the game-breaking combos. That's where the fun is in this, I think.
Yeah.
You're talking the daydream necklace or whatever with the dark ones with the glowy, flowy hair.
Or as I call them, night mullets.
Or
yes,
I call it
mullets.
this bitch.
Yeah, but this bitch, you could be talking about anything. You can say this bitch about anything.
This bitch. Or the thickness. My biggest appreciation of this game is the ability to name inappropriate names for all of your pals, which all of us have done. Yeah. And I think the more entertaining thing is
I'm innocent.
You're innocent? You actually give them legit names?
No, I don't give them names. I leave them as they are, except for Moo Linda.
Look,
I named my cow Moo Linda.
She learned when we had chickens, you don't name your food.
That's right. I did.
That's fair.
I think within 5 minutes, I named the cat Chard 2, just because when you're on the base and you assign your pals to work in the base, they eventually slack off, so you get messages to the server. So it's like Chard 2 is slacking off.
True to form.
It was
true to form.
So great. It's so great.
That checks. That checks out.
No, there are so many aspects to this game that are like, if you want to just go out and murder hobo, you can do that all day long.
Yeah.
And you'll level. I mean, the only thing you have to do is have enough base to like maintain your armor and your weapons, like and Pokeballs if you want. But if you want to do the base building aspect, that's a full thing. If you want to find eggs and hatch, that's a full thing. If you want to breed them, that's a full thing.
Yeah, you can breed them too. Yeah.
Well, Sinistar, in that regard, I think you and I are a really good team because you like to go out and murder all the shit, and I manage the resources so that you can just go out and murder all the shit, and I'll ride along with it. But I am the one that manages in our relationship. We do have more than that in the server. Like Bridget is carrying basically everybody, but I'm, I go out and I make resource runs and I do all this stuff that like behind the scenes to do that. Yeah. And I level. I level really fast, just grinding.
And that's what I'm saying.
How you play, right? You can gain XP pretty easily. Sorry, Chard.
No, it's fine. I was just when you pop in and everybody's level 40 after a week, and I'm like, well, at least I'm 15. They're like, let's go destroy everything, and I'm like, hey,
or your friends. Or your friends say, yeah, go talk to this beginning character.
Yeah, they'll give you wood.
Go punch. If you punch him, he'll give you wood.
Go punch this one, they'll give you wood. They don't give you wood. None of them gives you wood.
Oh, they
send the cops on you with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Or you get blasted in the face with a musket.
How weird is that, though, that this game starts you off with a wood bat, and then you progress up the tree to, isn't it like laser guns is the final tier or something ridiculous?
Probably.
It's like all the technology levels. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's
like Rise of Nations, but with Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly like Rise of Nations.
It's not just like fantasy only. You get machinery and weapons eventually.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. I mean, you start with bows and arrows, and then you level up to crossbows, and then you get like a broken pistol, and then you get like an actual 9mm, and then it's an AK, and then it's an assault rifle, and just keeps climbing and climbing, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm hunting Pokemon. Why do I need a 9 for? What do I need a clock for?
Because some of these Pokemon are deadly, and you need to what do you call it? Rat-a-tat-tat. Isn't that the term the kids use? I don't know. You take these things down. But crossbow's ridiculous. Yeah.
What's the nomenclature of our times?
Yes, the parlances of our times.
You got to pop a cap in a pal, homie.
I don't know what Gen Z calls their Pokemon hunting, but it's something like that. But it's definitely wild, and that's why when this game first came out and I saw it, I thought this is probably fun. It's probably janky. It's probably funny as hell, but it almost feels like it was an asset flip. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where people will go and buy those free assets and make a quick game and throw it up on Steam. That's what the vibe I was getting. But it's totally not. It's a lot more fleshed out of a game. They definitely made their own assets. It's more than I thought it was. It's not, yes, it's janky. Yes, it's very meme worthy, but it's actually a lot of work went into this game, and it's just bizarre.
Yeah. It flows so well, though. Like you wouldn't, I mean, there's early access points to it, but when you fire it up and you step into the world, you're like, this seems pretty well thought out, like for the most part, but it's if you take Pokemon and Breath of the Wild and you smash them together and you get the game that everybody's been asking for the last fucking 400 years. It's just really well done. Sorry, Nintendo.
One thing that I noticed in this game that I don't think I have ever seen in a game before is like literally from the very first start, there is a path that winds that you can follow to get everywhere you need to go. Like it's literally a path. If you stay on the path, you will find all of the things that you need to find. And nice. I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah. You could just beeline to the next thing and pick up, waypoints as you go. Yeah. But like any other game, you get off the beaten path, you're going to find something that you probably don't want to run into just yet. But you can just cruise around and take your time on it. And you don't feel, I've died a couple times in some areas I shouldn't have been, but even so, I'm not like, well, that's all lost. You can still get to your stuff relatively quickly, and
Yeah.
things don't aggro on you super hard real quick. Like they don't jump on you like a snake. You have time to be like, this is a poor decision. I should probably leave. So
yeah, when you push your luck into dangerous area, it's on you when you die, and it doesn't feel like it's too egregious. And also, I think there's also server settings that you can tweak to make it a little bit easier. I think Sinistar, for your server, you have it set so that you don't drop all your equipment and all your pals on death. I think it's a little bit easier for the group.
You only drop your items, so anything that's equipped and your pals stay with you after death. The only thing that drops is items in your inventory that are not in use.
And that's how my game was also. That you got a couple of good deaths in there. I forgot how hard early area is and got a little bit cocky. Did not work well.
Right.
But there's also so many waypoints that you can spawn in easy enough to get your stuff when you need to.
Yeah,
they're smattered really well
designed.
Late area or late game areas of the world, there are actually a lot fewer waypoints. But at the beginning, when you're leveling up and they're like, yeah, you're gonna die a lot. But there are stretches later on in the game that it's a little rough.
Yeah,
can be, definitely can be. Especially when all your pals are 45 and you're 15 running around with big boys and big girls. You're like,
maybe if you can,
hey, I got a pea shooter. I'm doing one point of damage. I'm helping.
It sounds like you're gonna have to do a lot of burn-in work on your new video card.
I'm going to have to.
Oh, darn.
Definitely once.
Yeah,
I know. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I know we're trying to keep our podcasts a little bit shorter than our hour and a half. Any other impressions that you all want to call out?
Yeah, so for me, for this type of game, I really do like the base building parts of these kind of games. I still think Valheim is probably better in the terms of the base building. Palworld is okay. It's certainly fine. You can definitely do quite a bit with the walls and putting things together. There's multiple terrain types that you can build with, and I appreciate that, and it's great. And there's tons of decorating stuff, from plants and tables, and it's neat. But I really like how in Valheim you're building things more piece by piece, like beam by beam, rafters by rafters. I like that style a bit more. But what's in Palworld is still pretty interesting. I guess my one concern though is I guess stuff degrades over time. Like Valheim stuff degrades depending on the weather, but if you build a roof, your stuff will stay together. But in Palworld, I think it's a bit different.
The way that is in Palworld is if it is within your base, it won't degrade per se, but it can take damage. If it's outside the base, it will degrade over time. So that's the difference.
Okay.
Is in the base, it won't degrade, but it will take damage.
Okay. So that's the thing too, yeah. Because in Valheim you can build wherever you want, but in Palworld we weren't building off of the defined bases because there's limited in terms of how many bases you can have, but you can build anywhere on the map. It just will degrade over time, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. In Palworld, you set up the Pal box, and the Pal box generates a sphere essentially around your and that's your base, and currently you can have a max of 3 bases, which I think unlocks as you level as well. Like you can get up to 3.
What do you guys
that is actually based on
what you guys are level 40ish now? Because I'm with Chart. I'm still back in the teens. I'm just curious how far you guys have gotten. How many bases do you guys have unlocked now?
Okay, so the bases are based on your first base level. So your primary base, you have objectives that you have to attain in order to get the next level base, and that allows you to add more pals to your workforce in your base, and then also allows you to unlock more bases. So 3 is the maximum, and it's based on your first initial pal base level. It's not based on player level at all.
No, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But so I know when I was playing with you guys, the tutorial kind of finishes with you doing one of the towers, and you kind of get like a fake Pokemon battle with a giant boss that actually has a trainer, and you kind of do it against that. That was fun, and I think there's 4 more of those, I think, on the map. Have you guys done any of those yet?
I have not done any out of the towers from the first one, but there are the
Okay.
the bosses smattered throughout the land.
Yeah, there's kind of I guess I would call them mini bosses all over the world. The towers I think do have, like, I know for sure the first tower has a boss in it that's like a cutscene style boss, but there
Right.
are, as you travel around the map, you get little markers, and they are essentially higher leveled versions of the existing PAL types. Like Anubis is one that I was talking about. That's a boss that is it's I guess a mini boss, right? Doesn't have a
Right.
cutscene, but it still will eat your face if it gets.
I have seen. I have gotten close enough to remove the the fog of war from the tower that's in the snow, but I didn't have the equipment to actually go in and put down or get the waypoint. But I know that there is another one in the cold.
So that's pretty good then, because if you guys are level 40-ish, I mean, you guys have been playing dozens of hours since it came out. I've seen you guys on Discord. So for you to be that many hours into the game, but we haven't done any other towers, that's actually quite a lot of gameplay. That's more than I expected.
Yeah.
The map is surprisingly large.
Other people have.
Yeah.
When I play these games, I grind the low level stuff like mad. Like I know that I can get all of the stuff that I need for like the first really 2-3 tiers of armor and stuff. Like I can get that in the early area. Why would I go fight all that hard shit if I don't have to? Like that's the way that I play. I am a very conservative player when it comes to putting myself at personal risk.
And I am an adrenaline junkie.
That is correct. I will tag along when he's doing it, but I will not myself go out and into the danger.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm level 28. I found this level 40 boss. Who wants in?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, let's go kill all the shit.
That's why you guys are besties and Rogue and I are besties.
Yes.
But in this kind of game, it works, right? And this is a game where I feel it's probably not so great to play on your own. I think it's more fun to play with friends or play online with people.
Yeah, I wouldn't play this. I wouldn't play this game alone, honestly.
No,
I would play it alone, but it's better with friends. I will probably not finish the game on my own.
Right. I feel like the game is great. It's fantastic, and whatever path they plan on putting forward is going to be great. But it really is who we're doing it with. I mean, obviously, Sinistress, I'm playing with you guys. Jake comes in and hangs out. We have fun with him. The rest of the crew, the rest of the Retro's Most Haunted crew is playing this with us. So we already do group games with them already. So we already have our personalities and stuff. It's just always so much more fun to razz your friends and then go out and attack some stuff. And it's just, it's a perfect marrying of playing something with your friends and this really cool concept coming together.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I think it's obviously way better because of the people I'm playing it with than it would be by itself. But I benefit from having those kinds of friends to play with. So, but it's still a great game, but it's better because of the people that I'm playing it with.
I will second that.
Yep.
Awesome. Jake, I just noticed in your attract mode on your arcade there, something had a nice set of boobs. It was great.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about the mystery. You just don't know what's going to be on there. We're sorry, YouTube. It's okay.
Well, I mean, it was covered. It was.
I mean, there's no boobs in Palworld. Actually, did you see what the PAL number 69
that wasn't
is?
already named.
No.
Yeah.
PAL number 69 is the love Pokemon, or the love PAL. It's got a giant heart for its boobs.
Lavander.
It's got
Lavander.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
There's also a heart in another location. That's
yeah.
Yep.
But awesome. Very cleverly done. Well done. No, it's a lot of. There feels like there's a lot of tongue in cheek in this game too. Like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they're probably sitting there laughing, going, "I can't believe we've gotten away with this as long as we've gotten."
Well, I'll be honest with you. The similarity, it really feels like they did talk to a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, "You're probably okay."
You're probably okay. Right, exactly. Like I'm sure there's like Air calls it distinct pocket monsters or something, or distinctly distant Pokemon or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they were like, are we going to get hammered on this? And they're like, no, there's enough subtle differences in here. We probably
Well, so this is not. I mean, you got to remember, Pokemon as a TV show came out first, right? Or no, sorry, game first, then TV show. But for the anime, when it was at its peak, you had ripoffs of that, right? You had Digimon. Digimon is basically Pokemon. There's no lawsuits there.
One.
Like I know somebody was posting on Twitter about how Japan law there's no fair use law over there.
Right. Oh, for sure.
So it's a bit different. But this company, it's not like this is a Western company either. This is a Japanese company, and from what I understand, their head office is like just down. I mean, a few kilometers down the road from the Pokemon company's head office. So they're like, if Nintendo wanted to send over the lawyers, they probably would have by now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
So great. I love
Well, I mean, even if they did get sued, I don't think they could ever take away all the money that this game has made, because holy shit, it is insane.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I had heard the name, but I'm like, that doesn't have any interest for me at all. Don't care. And then Bridget was streaming it to Chard's Discord, and I popped in just, to say hi and see what was happening. And I was like, you're climbing the walls. You're climbing the walls. Oh, and now you're swimming. Oh, and now you're okay. This looks fun. This looks really fun. So I bought it. And then, 4 days gone. Boom.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
We brought it up in a previous episode, which actually the cover of it has Pikachu with an AK-47 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had no draw toward it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I saw the trailer, there's a few trailers that came together, packaged together, and one of them was the Pokemons with the guns, and I'm like, I gotta at least try that game, or at least look into it. And the other one, part of that too, was Squirrel with a Gun. Literally, that's the name of the game, Squirrel with a Gun.
Yeah,
that's another later this year. So there's a few games that were advertised last year where it's just like, obviously they know what they're targeting, they know what they're doing. Actually, it's funny because Sinistar, you had messaged me earlier this week a video about one of the pals being butchered and cooked. Which is hilariously dark. I clicked on the link all the way. I didn't realize that video was posted by Palworld's official Twitter. They definitely know what they're doing, right? They definitely know that the angle they're going with this game, and it's funny.
I posted that in the Discord too, because I think Bridget posted it in our RMH Discord, so I had to throw that up on our thing.
Yeah.
Immediately thought of Jake.
Yep.
With his butchering.
You butcher to one pal, you butcher them all. Yeah,
Yeah, I think what had happened is I heard about this game and I looked at it and I thought that is so gimmicky and it's going to be garbage, and so I just threw it out of my brain. And no, it's a great game. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Awesome. Well, any other impressions or thoughts?
I love like the Relaxasaur.
Yeah.
I love the derpy looking.
Yeah.
I love the derpy looking dinosaurs that they have. It's so stupid. If anything, it's just fun to see what they've created creature wise, in my opinion. The base building and all that stuff, that's super fun. If that's your thing, go for it. That's awesome. And it's actually extremely well thought out from what everybody's building and all that stuff. But running around and seeing all these stupid things and then hitting them with a bat, you're just like, am I really doing this right now? Like, is this really happening?
Well, and watching the little octopusy dudes go pick up like wood, and it's like their little arms are just like, oh yeah, it's the derpiest thing.
It's neat. It's a neat game. It's worth the $30. It's not even a fucking Nintendo priced game. It's absolutely worth it. And you get the right crew of people, get your friends together. You will be at this for hours. It is that fun and that entertaining.
And honestly, if you don't want to pay the $30 right away, it's on Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, PC Game Pass. You sign up for the $10 and play it. And honestly, it's worth the $30. But if you really aren't sure, Game Pass is a great way to play this game.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yep.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Nintendo, don't sue us, please, for talking about your games. I mean, somebody else's games that are like your games.
They look like your games, but are not at all your games.
Better than your games.
We just lost a whole bunch of viewership. We lost the Pokemon crowd right there.
The Pokemon crowd.
It's okay.
Anyway, no, this I love the game as well, so I think it's worth a play for sure. why don't we go around and see what everybody's up to? Let's start with Chard. What are you up to?
Still going through my Sisyphean game of Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm playing that over on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Chardmonk. You can catch me Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Fridays, you'll catch me here. I am getting a new video card in this weekend, as I stated earlier. So I'm going to be doing some computer repair this weekend and hope that I can stream because the card is due in when I'm supposed to go live. And I'm sorry if that thing comes in. We're going to be waiting a couple days to go live again because I want to see how that thing works. So, so I'll be doing some computer repair this weekend, but Zero Dawn's still going strong. We're finally getting back into main story and side quest stuff. All the collectibles are knocked out. Sisyphean game continues over on my channel.
Yeah. Jake, how about you?
So I'm still putting together a video on the arcade stick behind me. I did install a modification that makes it analog, so I'm still working through that. I had to get a soldering kit, so I'm working on that and hopefully get it done the next week or so. As well, a bunch of us, pretty much almost except for GP, I think wasn't there. We did a guest spot on another podcast, Superpod Saga. So if you want to check them out, they're an audio podcast. Check them out wherever you listen to podcasts and Superpod Saga. We talked about 5th gen consoles. It was almost 2 hours long. That episode comes out on Monday.
What? You guys never.
It's on Monday.
Is it up now?
Yeah, we never talk too much like that, but it was a good time. So be sure to listen to that. And I know for Press B, we got a couple guests lined up over the next few weeks. So we'll drop them in our Discord and on Twitter when they show up.
Speaking of our guests, the amazing Sinstress was with us again. Sinstress, what are you up to? You have news from the last time you were on?
Yeah, I have been streaming. I started streaming a little over a month ago, and I'm just having a blast with it. Right now I'm doing Mondays and Thursdays. I may branch out, try to do something a little bit different, but I'm just having a blast. I love it when people come join me and hang out while I play video games and spew out the things that come into my brain. So
it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm really glad she's doing that. And I'm here. I have been working on my Sisyphean game as well. It looks like we have at least a new viewer, new listener. So Sisyphean game is a concept that we came up with as a team, where every year we name a game that we never completed, whether it was too hard or we just bounced off of it. But it's a game that we always feel like we should have beaten. So we pick a game. And we started, let's see, I started with Super Mario. I never completed it. I did the Wheel of Pain. Last year I did Chrono Trigger. I did complete it. Jake was the only outlier this last year, so he's going to have to do his Wheel of Pain. But what's the game?
Buck Bumble for the N64, which has a banging OST, but the gameplay is lousy. So I have to record 2 hours of me streaming that or playing through that. So that'll be a fun time for everybody but me. So it's okay.
Yeah,
Dragon's Lair. You're absolutely correct, because Dragon's Lair was great to watch. It was fantastic. I loved that.
Yeah. Dragon's Lair NES. NES in particular.
The side scroller, not the video one.
Yeah. But my Sisyphean game is Witcher 3, and I've been loving it. I have been loving it. I've put in 50 plus hours at this point since the beginning of the year. And that's what I'm working on when I'm not playing Palworld.
So. I also want to say, it was Sinistar used to do this where he would play these games and I would help him through it. And it's been really awesome being able to be his helper again on his games.
Best helper.
For the record, Jake, I have 41.4 hours in Horizon Zero Dawn right now.
Yeah, okay.
Just so you know.
Fine. I haven't installed Street Fighter 6, but let me tell you something, though. And I told you today. Elden Ring's DLC is dropping any week now. And when that drops, if you're not done Horizon Zero Dawn, you're fucked, my friend. You're not going to finish your game. You're going to be all Elden Ring.
I just won't be playing Horizon Forbidden West until after that's done.
9 months from now.
That package deal is going to go away. So.
Elden Ring, man.
I can't wait to play Elden Ring Erdtree. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we're up to. We are still working on scheduling for our Game of the Year 2023. We'll put that in the Discord as soon as we figure out a time for that. We were going to do it last week, but we ran into a scheduling conflict. I think Jake, you were trying to visit every single Tim Hortons, and in all of Canada. I think that was what you were working on.
Impossible task. There's like 50 just down the street from me. I just can't win.
He got to the end of the block.
Yep.
Had to turn around.
But yeah, I put it in the chat. But if you want to know how to get in contact with us, or you want more information on us, pressbtocancel.com. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the madness. We do try to do Twitch at the same time. It's a little iffy, but we do try to do Twitch at the same time. Press B to cancel
follow us on Twitch too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Otherwise, this has been another episode of Press B to Cancel. Thanks all. Gotta catch them all.